Hello board game brothers and sisters, I'm Adam Singer and welcome to another episode where I'll be letting you know of campaigns launching this week. We've only got a few campaigns to cover this time, so make sure to check out the Discord in the description below if you want to see a list further into the future. And with that said, let's check out the campaigns. And the first campaign we have launches on February 9th and it's called Kingdom Rush Elemental Uprising. And this is a game for 1 to 4 players and takes about 45 to 90 minutes to play. And this is a standalone sequel to the original Kingdom Rush board game, and it is designed by the same trio of designers that also designed that game. And these designers actually live very close to me, and although there aren't too many reviews on the Board Game Geek page, I know that this has been getting playtested for some time because I've seen them playtesting this game myself. And much like the original, this is a tower defense game where players are going to be working cooperatively to fight back against hordes and hordes of monsters as the monsters come to try and attack their castle. Each player is going to be playing as a hero with their own asymmetric abilities, and they're going to be able to play towers to attack these hordes, using polyomino tiles to cover the monster hordes in order to eliminate them. This game does introduce some more elemental aspects to the game, and you're going to witness that by some game-changing effects like cyclones and volcanoes. This also features a variable difficulty that can be configured depending on how hard you want the game to be, and it can also be played as individual replayable scenarios or as a steadily evolving campaign leading up to a big boss fight. This game's being published by Lucky Duck Games, so you can count on some very nice production, and there's also going to be some really nice minis for each of the player characters, as well as some of the bosses. This one's not launching on Kickstarter, so you're going to want to check out GameFound to back this one, which means that we can actually look forward to a campaign page with a little bit of structure. And the next campaign we have also launches on the 9th, and it's called ZenTiles, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 15 to 30 minutes to play. Except on their campaign page, it also says this can be played in as quickly as 5 minutes. And this game is all about Zen and meditation, and I think this game is very interesting and unique because there's no winner of this game or score to track, and this game I feel like really does qualify as a meditative activity. This game comes with some really nice components, and one of those components is a time track that looks a little bit like a ruler, and it represents the 24 hours of your previous day. And in this game, players are going to be drawing stones from a bag, and each stone is going to have an emotion labeled on it, and you're going to have to reflect on an event that happened to you in the previous day, and then put that stone along the time track depending on when that event happened. At the end of the game, you place a special token beside the event and emotion that you were particularly proud of. And that's all there is to it. I do appreciate meditation and mindfulness, and it is something that I have studied, and I think a little game like this is a very interesting way to practice it. This game has some interesting undertones, and I really like how the emotions are just represented by little ghost stones, and that there's no score in the game, so even if you pull out a positive or a negative emotion, it doesn't actually mean that it's good or bad, even from the game's perspective. And I think that's really interesting because that's often a topic of reflection when you're actually doing some mindful meditation. So although you don't actually win in this game from a scoring perspective, I can definitely see it providing value. And another thing that I like to do that I find extremely meditative is browse through pages and pages of board games. So check out kickstartergames.com because they have a wide selection of games, and any purchases made there, a small percentage will come back and help this channel. They even buy games if you're looking to downsize your collection. And they also run board game giveaways every month, and all you have to do to get entered in those is sign up to their newsletter. Because they also buy games, they occasionally offer Kickstarter deluxeified versions of these games, so you're going to want to check back frequently so you don't miss out on those. And the next campaign launches on the 10th, and it's called Forest of Radgost, and this plays 1 to 7 players and takes about 45 to 90 minutes to play. And this is a game where 2 children get lost in a mythical forest, and it's up to the players to go in and rescue those children and bring them back to town. This isn't going to be so easy though, because the forest that they got lost in is actually a mythical forest that's filled with a bunch of Slavic deities that are going to be getting in your way as you try to navigate the forest. This is a cooperative game, and each player has their own character with their own backstory and skill set. And once you get into the higher player counts, you'll even have players that will be playing as the children as well. Throughout the game, players are going to be discovering more and more of the story, and they're going to be finding different items and skills to help them along the way. The different mythical creatures are going to be moving across the board as well based on dice rolls, and when you run into one of them, you have an encounter. It'll be up to you if you want to run, hide, or stand your ground by either fighting or talking to these creatures. This game was also designed to be safe to play with kids, and there's not even any killing in the game, but I will say that some of the miniatures are a little bit pronounced, so just use your own discretion if you want to go with the standee version of the game. And speaking of the miniatures, there's some really creative and interesting designs, and I really like them overall. And this one's going to be my pick of the week because there's a lot of interesting details about this campaign. First of all, this game's been in development for over 6 years, and it started as a father-son project where they wanted to spend some more time together, as well as learn a little bit more about Slavic mythology. And just from reading the little bio here of the father, I think I'd really get along with him because a lot of you might not know this, but outside of these YouTube videos, I'm also a nature-loving engineer who also designs board games for fun. More info on that at shelfclutter.com, but back to this. The mother actually also got involved with the project, and she has a very impressive resume as a teacher and PhD, and she contributed to the research and lore of the project. And Slavic mythology is a theme that I don't see too often, and I always find it really interesting to hear about the different myths and folklore that go along with these different creatures of these different cultures and geographical areas. One of my favorite non-board game YouTube channels that I follow is actually completely focused on mythology, and I took a quick look to see if they ever covered any of these creatures, and it looks like they have, but they go by some different names. I think these creatures may get translated differently depending on the source, and I'll leave a link to that channel right up here. And if you really are interested in the folklore, just like me, then you'll be happy to know that the 92-page Book of Encounters with the branching scenarios in this game actually also contains all the Slavic lore for each of the creatures that you'll encounter in this game. So it's kind of a cool book to have, even if you didn't have the game at all. And getting back to some of my favorite board game YouTube channels, both the King of Average and the Cardboard Rhino have covered this game, and I'll leave a link to the King of Average's video right up here where he goes into a detailed unboxing and he expresses how this is probably one of the most unique board game prototypes he's ever received. And I'll also leave a link to the Cardboard Rhino's video right up here where Eleni goes over the entire game's overview and how it plays, and she also expresses a few observations and details that I think you don't want to miss. One thing that she said that really stood out to me is that the love and dedication to this game really shows. And I noticed that another reviewer had said something similar to this in a quote on the Radgost campaign page. So seeing that same feedback from two different sources really gives me confidence that the execution of this game is really well done. Unfortunately, there's not any reviews or ratings on the Board Game Geek page, which is too bad because it really helps give us confidence when backing a first-time designer. But they will be providing a rulebook on the campaign page that you can go ahead and read for yourself. And I'm not sure if they plan to offer a tabletop simulator version of the game, but if you're watching this video, I highly recommend that you do that, so then your players can also go ahead and leave some comments and ratings on the ratings tab on Board Game Geek. And the last campaign I have for you also launches on the 10th, and it's called Descending the Stairs, and it plays 1 to 6 players, and this is actually an RPG, and it has a kind of interesting theme. It's about relationships and a nightclub, and the flavor text goes a little bit like this. Standing at the top of the steep and narrow stairs, hot, sweaty, exhilarated, feeling thoroughly spent, a night at your favorite club is over, but tonight the club closes forever. What will you take with you as you descend the stairs for the last time? The game does not require a game master or dice, and it's played entirely with cards, and it takes about 90 to 2 hours to play. That's it for campaigns, but don't leave yet because we got an all-in pledge to give away for the game Reload by Colossal Games. And this is a battle royale board game that plays 2 to 4 players and takes about 60 minutes to play, and each player is a clone soldier as part of a military mega corporation that's running broadcasted training tournaments on islands in order to raise funding for their operations. This game is based on video games of the same genre, so if you like Call of Duty or Unreal Tournament, this might be something that you'll be interested in. Each character in this game has their own set of unique skills and abilities, and you'll also be finding different loot and items that make each game play a little bit differently, and players will be competing against each other with these skills and items to try and defeat their opponents and win the most fame to win the game. Players will be rolling and allocating dice to the different actions on their player board, and they can also keep some dice unallocated for use in combat later. Different locations on the board will also present some different actions, and players can also lay traps and defensive barriers to help them throughout the game. And when you do enter combat, the encounter gets resolved based on some interesting dice rolling, and I really recommend watching the video by Meeple University that you can go ahead and find on the campaign page, and I have a link to the campaign in the description below. And to enter this giveaway, just leave a comment down below with the hashtag reload, and let us know what your favorite Battle Royale video game is. For me, it's definitely Super Smash Bros. For N64, and my favorite character is Link, who's actually the worst character in the game, but I'll still take on any of you. And now let's go ahead and draw the winners for last week's giveaways. And the first one we had was Masters of Mutanite. And to draw a winner, I use this application here, and all these extra names down here are bonus entries for my Patreon subscribers. If you like this sort of content and you want to help support the channel, definitely check that out. And with that said, let's grab those comments and draw a winner. And I'd asked viewers to let us know if they could have any power, which power would they choose? And our winner is Roni Gaba. And they say I would go with precognition since it would allow you to react to anything in advance, which would probably allow you to come out ahead in most endeavors. Well, you definitely came out ahead here. Congratulations on the win. Just email me at adam@shelfclutter.com and we'll get that pledge all sorted out. And the next giveaway we had was for SummonSkate. So let's go ahead and draw the comments and draw a winner. And I'd ask viewers to let us know what their favorite winter sport is. And our winner is Adam Rayberg. And this is actually one of our Patreon subscribers, so congratulations, Adam. I'll reach out to you and get that pledge all sorted out. And the last giveaway we had was for Mob the Big Apple. So let's go ahead and draw those comments and draw a winner. And for this one, I'd ask viewers to let us know what their favorite carbonated beverage is. And our winner is Carl Jook. And this is another one of our Patreon subscribers, so congratulations, Carl. I'll reach out to you and get that pledge all sorted out. And that's it for this week. Until next time, keep that shelf cluttered and the table full.